Okay, cool. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the first time that we've done anything like this within the group. It's a mindset mastery course, and we've got a couple more lined up for the rest of this month as well. But I'd just like to introduce guest coach Victoria Boast. Vicky, could you just talk a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so like yourself, I am a coach, predominantly in people that work shift patterns, hospitality workers, bar work. Just that's the background I've come from. So I worked in bars and restaurants for like 22 years. Got up to a size 18, felt really uncomfortable in my skin. Wasn't happy going out doing the drinking lifestyle because I couldn't find anything I wanted to wear, getting really frustrated, upset by it. So then I went on a weight loss journey, and through that journey just happened to stumble upon calorie counting, started following some different people on Instagram and Facebook, getting some information, got myself a PT in the gym, and within a month decided this is what I want to do. So absolutely crazy career transition. So qualified as a PT. I'm now doing online coaching only, mainly thanks to COVID. And I coach, like I said, people that predominantly do sort of shift work, different patterns, to help them kind of navigate around what to eat, when to eat, because it can be quite hard when you're sort of grabbing food on the go. So yeah, so that is me.
Awesome. And we've done a couple of podcasts before in the past. So what I really quite like about you is how relatable you could be to any of my clients or any of the normal population. You've been there and done that and bought that t-shirt and then
Yeah.
had to buy smaller t-shirts as you went through.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Okay, so we're going to talk about mindset mastery now. There's a couple of topics that I wanted to cover today, and I think they go quite well hand in hand. So the first topic we're going to go with is the connection between physical health and mental health and how to prioritize both. And then we're going to couple that up with the importance of self-care for a healthy mindset. So I think the first question I really want to go with is to you, what does and to a fat loss journey, let's say, what does mindset actually mean to you?
Oh, mindset is absolutely everything. Like, I think when I speak to people that are potential clients or, just in passing and someone asks me a fitness question, like mindset is the key to unlocking everything, because a lot of people are, oh, I've got no motivation, I've got no discipline, I've got no willpower. And it's changing your thought processes, and I do that a lot with clients, and so some clients say that I brainwash them into like getting steps in or whatever, and it's not. It's changing your perspective and changing the way you're thinking and changing the way that you're looking at a situation, and how your dieting journey will be different to other people's. But I think we can all kind of get into a similar mindset, and the people that are successful on weight loss, everyone's like, oh, they've got it easier, they've got it better. And it's like, it's not that at all. They're just locked in and focused on their goals. And they've got that mindset that is determined to achieve what they want to achieve, whether they think that they can or they can't. They're just in that right headspace and that mindset of like, yes, I can achieve this.
Awesome. So yeah, basically we know that to get into shape or to get fit or lose weight or whatever, it boils down to the fundamentals of exercise and diet. But yeah, for me, I think mindset is the overall, I like to think of it as the overall umbrella. Without the right mindset, then it really, these two are kind of going to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, and that's where people feel that motivation fails them, because they have the motivation, they can do the diet and exercise, and then once the motivation falls off, they've got nothing to kind of back them up, and it is that mindset and their thought process and how they're thinking of things, which is then going to kind of keep them on track.
Yes, the motivation, whenever we start a journey, the motivation's at its highest point. But it's, as we know, it's only a temporary feeling. It's and it will dip down and it'll come back up again, and it'll very much go in a wave pattern. And the mindset is where, when you're coming on these downward slopes, that's where the mindset comes into its own, and you then call on to the consistency, the discipline of keep ticking the boxes, so to speak. how would you, is there any tips that you can give anyone when it comes to, when that motivation kind of dips down a little bit? Is there any tips that you can give anyone to keep that discipline in place?
It's more about creating those habits and routines. Like, I was talking to a client the other day, and she was saying about going on holiday and coming back, and most people come back off holiday and they're like, oh, there's nothing in, let's get a takeaway. I can't get to the gym for the next few days or whatever. And I said, as soon as you step through that front door after a holiday, you've got to have that switch in your mind that just flicks, and you go into that default mode. And I say to my clients, it's about us creating that default mode. So what does that look like? What is your baseline every day? I get 10,000 steps in, I drink 2 liters of water, I get 8 hours of sleep. I do a little bit of self-care to kind of keep my mental health kind of on top, and whatever that might look like for each people. And I eat this food, and I normally have this breakfast, and I have this lunch, and I have this in the evening. I normally have this many snacks. And that's like your baseline. And it's about having that default mode to kind of refer back to. So yes, you might go out for a nice meal, but as soon as you come back home, back into that default mode. And I think the people that succeed on a weight loss journey have got that default mode kind of nailed and know what it is. So things like events, or you've had a bad day at work, or you've been on holiday, don't necessarily derail it. And I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, I've had the same breakfast for probably about 7 years. It's changed ever so slightly, like what it was, but it was pretty much chicken sausages, beans, egg, and toast, which is what I've probably eaten for the past 3 years. It used to be chicken sausages, tinned tomatoes, and spinach. It's not massively changed, and probably an egg now and again. It's not massively changed because that's my default breakfast. So you're not giving yourself all those options of like, oh, I don't know what to have, I'm really confused about what food choice is. It's about having those few like default kind of days and ways of working and things that you eat. So then when you do go off track and you do not have that motivation, I don't need motivation to eat my breakfast. I know what it is every single day. I don't need any motivation. It's just a default setting. And it's about creating that default setting and those habits and routines with everything. So you always take the stairs. You always park a bit further away from the supermarket to get more steps in. It's just about creating those little things that just become the normal. So you don't need motivation to park further away. You just do it because it's a habit. And that habit will get you more steps in, and then that more steps will lead to whatever you want it to lead to.
So yeah, you're kind of almost molding your identity a little bit as well, without having to sacrifice anything or make any drastic or dramatic changes. How does that serve you with having the same breakfast for like 3 years? Do you? I
love it.
You don't find it a bit tedious or anything? Or...
No.
Yeah,
you know what? I
guess it's like you find something you enjoy and then stick with it, just run with it. So
I've tried like having oats and protein powder with like frozen fruit on and different things, and I never found it really satiated me. And everyone's different. Me personally, I find if you have like a sweet breakfast, I want to continually eating sweet stuff. Or if I have like a carb heavy breakfast, never really fills me up. So I know it needs to be fairly protein filled. So chicken sausages, beans, and egg, pretty much protein. And then I'll have like some toast with it. Sometimes I might have 2. Today I was a bit hungry, so I had 4 chicken sausages instead of 3. But I absolutely love that breakfast. So why would I change it? And some people think that that's a bit weird. People might want different, have 3 options, but it's just about knowing what you like. And I can meal prep something and have the same meal 3 days in a row for my tea because it's easier, because it works for me. I'm not bothered. Like, of course I love going out eating and having different things and having takeaways or whatever, and I do that. But then when I'm in my default mode, I just know that I eat what I like, and if it's the same 3 days in a row, it doesn't matter because I like it. Like if someone said to you, do you want a Chinese takeaway 3 days in a row? You'd be like, yeah, sure. Because you like it. So it's the same kind of principle. Just because I'm saying it's like sausages, beans, and egg, like it's technically a fry up every morning.
I think I could live with that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people have a fry up. It's just a healthier version that, hits my protein goals, fairly low calories, doesn't spike my hunger too much because obviously protein doesn't really spike insulin that much. Keeps me satiated. I really look forward to it every single day, and I promise you I do, or else I wouldn't eat it. So again, it's a mindset thing. People think that they have to eat differently all the time. It's like, you don't. You can eat the same. It's okay.
Just going slightly off topic here, actually, with the chicken sausages. Did you see in Tesco's they did a Coronation chicken flavored heck chicken sausage?
See, I shop at Asda, but I have seen on their Instagram that they have done that, and I was like, oh, might have to go and take a trip to Tesco.
I picked them up. I opened them out just to see what they look like, and I'm not sure. I love Coronation chicken, but I don't know if I want that in my sausages.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
And
maybe not for breakfast. Maybe not for breakfast.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're talking about, like, obviously physical health and mental health as well, which is obviously an ever-growing concern in our society at the moment with everything that's going on. So how do you prioritize your mental health?
I would say I kind of do it automatically, and I know it is a lot harder for other people. Obviously COVID was quite hard, but I feel as a person, I've got something just inbuilt in me that I just seem to kind of do it. And I know that's like an awful answer because people want loads of stuff, but give you an example. When the gyms were closing down, obviously for COVID, my shift was a Saturday morning in the gym, 8 till 12, and the gym shut like that Friday, and then the Saturday we needed to go in. So because it was my shift, I had to go in and obviously turn everything off. I'm always early for everything. That's just the way I am. Got to the gym early, probably like 7:45. My manager was already there, and I said, look, can I just have 10 minutes on the treadmill just before we do it? Because I'm early anyways. Like, yeah, sure, crack on. So I just spent 10 minutes on the treadmill. And for me, walking quite fast on a treadmill, just not really thinking, getting the blood pumping, getting them endorphins going, is my way of de-stressing. And I've always used walking as like de-stressing. And it just highlighted to me in that situation where obviously it was stress. We didn't know what was going on. My business was literally disappeared overnight. So I needed some kind of stress reliever. I needed to kind of get my head in the right headspace. So for me, 10 minutes power walking on the treadmill. And then I got off and I went, right, yeah, I'm good to go. Right, what do we need to do? And of course I wasn't okay because we were closing the gym, but for me, that was just like a coping mechanism. And even now I find when I take the dog out for a walk, if I'm a bit stressed about something, if I just increase the speed and power walk, I feel like it's getting rid of all that nervous energy, all that stress. I'm not a runner, never run in my life at all, really. So for me, power walking is a way of kind of getting rid of that. But I think it's more being aware that you get into that point. And again, sometimes you don't realize that. I talk to my clients a lot about self-care, and whether it's 10 minutes a day, whether it's an hour a week or whatever it is, try and put something in there for you that kind of brings those stress levels down, that looks after your mental health, that just resets you a little bit, that makes you feel better. And obviously, because we work on our laptops, we can work from anywhere. We can work 24/7, every day, every hour. And I find myself doing that. And especially because I can work on my phone, I've got Instagram, Facebook, all the apps. Not that like millions of people are messaging me, but it's very easy to stay in work mode. So again, I've purposely, probably towards the end of lockdown, after I was working every single day because my business was just in absolute turmoil. I was like, oh my God, I need to work every day. I got to a point of I need to switch off. So for me, it was Netflix. So I've got Amazon Prime as well now. So I've got 2 different ones. Sit down, put a film on, put a series on, try not to look at my phone. And that's my zone out time, because if you're watching a movie, you get engrossed in it, or you're watching a series, and that is it for me. So either power walking or putting a movie on protects my mental health, because it takes me away from being constantly active on my phone. And for other people, it could be different. It could be having a bath, it could be meditating, you know, it could be going for a swim, going for a run, you know, absolutely anything. But it's just, I think, recognizing the signs and finding that thing that helps you kind of bring yourself back down, back to that like homeostasis, which is just like your body's happy middle ground.
Excellent. So, and like you say, that could literally be anything. And I tell my clients as well, like, just take 10 minutes a day, sit in silence, just sit there with your thoughts. And quite a lot of what I've actually been sort of reading up on over the past couple of weeks is kind of being in the moment.
Yeah.
So I think this is the meditation side of things, where you just be aware of what's going on around you, and you know, you notice the noises from outside or whatever, and it's just about just clearing that head. And actually, a method of work that I've been using, and this is quite a helpful thing for all the clients as well, for their jobs or even their lifestyles, is I've now started working. I can't remember the name of the actual title of it, but I set a 25-minute timer now on my watch.
Oh, is it Pomodoro?
Yeah, it's that rings.
Pomodoro technique.
Yeah, so 25-minute timer, and literally for that 25 minutes, I'm just focusing on 1 or 2 tasks that I've got to do on my ever-growing to-do list. And that's it. That keeps me so much more focused. Then after that 25 minutes is up, take 5 minutes away from the computer, away from your phone, get a drink or whatever, and then just repeat that cycle. Do that 3 or 4 times, and then have a half an hour break. So, and I just find that actually, like, yes, I get a lot more done because I do let my brain wander into different jobs when I should be focusing on another one. But I actually feel so much better at the end of the day as a result of it, because I feel so much more productive. Which again, that has the knock-on effect, which means my mental health is going to be in a little bit of a better situation. And you know, it's just a great little technique. So it's a 25-minute focus, 5-minute break, repeat that 3 or 4 times, and then take a half an hour break, and then repeat the whole thing. I mustn't take a note of what it's actually called.
Sure, it's a Pomodoro. Sure, it's
Pomodoro. Sounds Spanish. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you kind of like tell or try and promote to your clients in terms of protecting their mental health, and how it links with physical health?
I think just kind of being aware when you are stressed or you are triggered, or, you know, it's hard sometimes because you just get caught up in it, and then all of a sudden, like, you're really tired, you're fatigued, you're exhausted, and then you're like, oh, what happened? Obviously, I'm guessing you do with your clients, like a weekly check-in. One of those questions is, what have you done for yourself this week? What kind of self-care have you done? And sometimes people are like, oh, I've had my hair cut, or I've done this, I've done that. Or sometimes I'll get, oh, I haven't done anything for myself this week. I need to do something. I need to plan it in this week. And it's just that weekly check-in reminder. Obviously, you know, if you're not a client or you finish coaching, you know, you can still set that reminder yourself in your phone. You know, you can just say, oh, you know, have I done any self-care this week? Or on a Sunday, looking ahead your diary, where can I fit something in? What can I get done? Can I have my hair cut? Can I have a massage? Should I have a bath? I hate having baths, but now and again, I know I'm like really stressed and tense, and I go, I need to have one, and I force myself to have one. And again, I'll put Netflix on the iPad on the top of the toilet, you know, and then I'll just watch that in the bath to force me to stay in there, because I know it's good for me. And I think sometimes you do need to force things, whereas everyone expects we just want to do all these things and we enjoy doing all these things. No, sometimes you do need to force yourself. And if I didn't have the dog, I wouldn't go out for as many walks as I do, because sometimes I'll get caught up on a Monday with check-ins, and I'll be like, oh yeah, check in, do a bit of meal prep or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I'll keep going. And the dog's moaning to go out at like 10:30. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to go out. I haven't got time. And I go out and I just feel so much better. And I say that to clients, as much as you feel you might not want to exercise, just go and start and do 10 minutes or whatever, and then you feel better, and you're always pleased that you did it afterwards. I know there's a quote and a meme that says, like, you know, no one regretted a workout, and you don't really, because it makes you feel better afterwards. It's just remembering that you feel better afterwards. As much as you don't want to do it, it's thinking about how you feel afterwards, and whether that's writing yourself a note or a reminder of, hey, I know that you don't want to do this, but you'll feel better afterwards. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, you probably do.
And yeah, we've got to just also remember that it's the old cliche, it is okay to not be okay. But I think the important thing is to recognize when we're feeling stressed or when life is getting a bit like on top of us and stuff, and being almost selfish enough to prioritize ourselves. So, and taking that 10-15 minutes per day or an hour a week, whatever, will work wonders towards that.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So we kind of covered quite a bit. Is there anything else that you think we've forgotten to cover over those 2 topics? Because the third one that I could sneak in, we've got just under about 9 minutes left till time runs out. I was too tight.
Not really. I mean, people don't realize the link between exercising and mental health, and obviously how it can actually promote better mental health. And I think when you're in that state, of like a depressive state or, not great mental health, people want to just sit and hibernate. And I think that's the worst thing. And it is hard to get out and exercise. And I'm not saying it's easy, but again, that's where that force comes in. You've got to force yourself to kind of do it and understand the benefits from doing it, and then see the benefits, and then write it down afterwards when you come back from a walk or whatever it is. Go, this is how I felt after my walk. So then next time you don't want to do it, you look at that bit of paper and go, oh, I wrote that, so it must be true. So let's go and do it.
Yeah, definitely a routine is, and I've actually got one client in mind at the moment who has changed their routine, not dramatically, but they were like doing a session with me in the morning, and then they would go and do a class in the evening and work in between, etc. And she actually just found that the time was just running away with her. So actually she ended up changing the routines. So we'll see each other in the mornings, but like half an hour before that, she'll do like a walk on the treadmill or half an hour on the Stairmaster or something. So she's getting both forms of exercises done in one shot. And she's actually loving this new routine now, where she's got the evening to herself, and it's just made.
That's it. It's sometimes just looking at your routine.
Yeah, one little tweak to a routine has made the world of difference. That like the stress levels have dropped right down, being more productive, and it's just about. I think a lot of people are afraid to try and bring in a routine, or they don't see the true value of having a routine.
Everyone has a routine. They just don't know that they have one. Like, everyone gets up at similar times, obviously for work or whatever, goes to bed. Everyone eats similar things, even though they think they don't. We all have a routine, even if you don't feel it's a routine. It's just becoming aware of that. And then I always say to clients, just make small changes. Don't think, oh, let's throw everything out and start again. It's just like, what am I doing now? Where can I maximize any benefits, or where can I get some more time? And got to remember, dieting and training is a stress on the body. So if you're really pushing hard in a dieting phase, really pushing hard in a training phase, and then you've got work stress, family stress, it's going to have a massive toll on your body. Something's got to give. And usually it's people's diet that gives, where, they overeat or whatever, but it's like recognizing that you are doing too much. And I think females in general like to want to do everything, and they feel like that caregiver. And I've got a group coaching program called Project You for that reason, because we forget about us and it's about you. You need to kind of refocus. And if you're your best self, feeling energized, healthy, in like a good body shape that you want, then you're going to be better for everyone else and everyone else around you. Whereas if you're tired, stressed, pushing everything, no one's going to want to be around you. You're trying to help other people, but you're not even helping yourself.
Yes, if you're, what is it Jay says, the business coach we have, if your vessel is empty, then you're not going to be able to serve.
You can't pour from an empty vessel.
It's the one. Yeah. So and it's like with this, like small changes, it's about just introducing tiny little habits that you want to just, even if it attaches to your current routine, like another classic would be what a client that has a jar of multivitamins, but she keeps them in her bag. And I'm like, well, how often do you forget to take them? She's like, quite often. She said, I'll probably take it 2 or 3 times. So actually what we said, we broke down her morning routine and established that one of the first things that she does is goes and puts the kettle on in the morning. So all we did was say, right, let's just put your vitamins next to the kettle, and you can't not take your vitamins. They're there.
Yeah.
And so far, I think we're on a 3-week streak of taking the multivitamins. So it obviously works. And
Yeah, but it's the small things, and then that is then in turn going to make her feel better, because she could potentially be deficient in something that she doesn't know. And now she feels better because she's now not deficient anymore. You know, she can become more active or think clearer or whatever it might be, sleep better.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna end the session there. It's a bit of a quick ending, but your time is running out. Let's just stop. So firstly, just if anyone wants to follow you, where can they find you?
So Victoria Boast pretty much on everything, Instagram, Facebook, and my website is just victoriaboast.co.uk.
Cool, go check her out. There's a lot of useful information that'll be helpful to you guys as well. Sometimes I think you guys just need to hear a different voice other than mine. So
we're all saying the same things, just in
it does.
ways.
Yeah, I was going to say it does mean that what I'm still telling you is the right stuff. It's just sometimes we just need to hear it from somebody else. So thanks ever so much for joining us today, Vicky. Hopefully it won't be the last time. And I'm going to stop the recording.